What I've seen on the internet, the GDs are saying, y'all better shut up about this man because we'll go slide him. Is Larry Hoover a rat or not, man? Like, come on, bro.
As of right now, we can't say he is because we don't have those actual court documents.
Will you call Larry Hoover a rat, just like how you call Big Meech a rat?
Well, the work is going to call him that. 98% of the people we hear talking about Larry Hoover ain't even met Larry Hoover. Larry Hoover been in jail longer than they've been living.
And that's exactly why you shouldn't talk about him. Because who else gets that level of praise and devotion from tens of thousands of people who they haven't met? Jesus? Muhammad?
Let me ask you a question, Wack.
What's up?
You PIRU. If you hear one of the big homies in PIRU got some shit on his name, are you gonna wait for me to go get it, or are you gonna go get it?
Oh no, I'm definitely gonna go get it.
So why the GDs ain't going to the Chicago courthouse to prove that Larry Hoover ain't got no fucking paperwork?
Really know his story. I know it partially. I know what got him the time. You know, I was caught up in the Larry Hoover tapes, which the lady that I was working with has, that's never been seen. But you can't. There's no. We talk about Tupac's rape. We talk about Biggie Smalls, the weird shit he said in his music that we didn't really realize till decades later. So it is what it is. If you on that pedestal, if you being placed up there with, you know, on some gangster shit, you know, hey, if this is what happened, and people gonna question the whole movement.
Yeah, those are false equivalencies. Pac and Biggie are false equivalencies to Larry Hoover. Great artist, inspirational, beloved, and frankly, they're beyond reproach, especially Pac, because when he said, "Oh, we talk about the grape that Pac caught," people don't really talk about it. Almost everybody dismisses it as if the girl is just a fucking liar. And frankly, from what I saw, I don't know if she's lying. Now I'm not gonna put the grape tag on and jacket on Pac, but he definitely went to prison for it. And as far as the California code goes, at least, if you get that conviction, it doesn't matter what you say. You are that, and that's the jacket you should wear. Yet the people in California love and embrace Pac. You see that? So he's even beyond reproach in that instance. Now, I don't necessarily agree with people being beyond reproach, but I do agree that in the perception of many people, there are people that are beyond reproach and will treat it as such, right? So we have to understand that perception oftentimes and even most times does in fact supersede reality. So because perception supersedes reality, motherfuckers don't give a fuck about what's real. They give a fuck about how they feel and how they see it. So if the rules are, if somebody goes to jail on a sexual offense and gets convicted, that they're no good, but Pac somehow is good, then that's what it is. Now think about the politics of the Southsiders. They have the most stringent politics in any penitentiary that you've ever heard of, at least that I've ever heard of, especially when it comes to their paperwork, who's good, who's no good. Yet the most beloved black man by the damn essays is Pac. And according to his paperwork, he's no good. He's what they would call a piece of trash. You see what I'm saying? So it was a false equivalency, but even with that false equivalency that Wack just employed there, it backfired because Pac above reproach. Biggie definitely said some very possible lines, and he's still regarded as one of the greats, the greatest of all time. Most people put him in the number 2 slot, frankly. So I think that was a poor example. But now we're talking about Larry Hoover, and Larry Hoover is not somebody that you truthfully can compare to a Pac or Biggie, because again, great artist legacy, beloved, inspirational. None of them built a singular organization that is nationwide with tens of thousands of people that he is the top-down head of. None of them did that. And that type of indebtedness that the individuals belonging to said organization have is incomparable to the fandom of a Pac or Biggie fan. It's an incomparable allegiance, especially when you go into their indoctrination, their literature, you know, what they have to learn, things like that, how this man is postured in their minds by the people that bring them into the organization. You can't compare the two. It's not the same. It's apples and motherfucking oranges.
Of what it's supposed to be. So I get it. Remember, to the side of Crips is Bloods, to the side of Bloods is Crips. So, you know, GDs got an opposition. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So hold on.
GDs, you get what I'm saying?
Do you think this? So I don't know where your angle is. Do you think that 1090 Jake put out fake work, or you just think, hey?
No. I think 1090 moved based upon the newspaper articles. He went and found other newspaper articles to support the original one that was out. So what I did was say,
so Wack, you're not down to stand on the idea that he's not a snitch. You're just saying you don't have the right work to call him a snitch.
Yeah, I'm saying as of right now, what you guys are basing it upon, it's not credible. Well, it's credible, but we don't use newspaper articles.
It has some credibility, but it is also questionable, right? Newspaper articles should not be utilized as sufficient evidence to substantiate whether or not somebody is a snitch, a cooperator, etc. It's not official, legal, binding documentation. Newspapers knowingly and unknowingly constantly publish false information. Some purposely publish mis and disinformation. These things happen. I know of these things firsthand, of individuals not giving factual information up, not snitching, and then having newspaper articles written on them that they told. When I got shot, I was 14 years old. It was the last day of 8th grade. The newspaper published that I was an employee of the establishment that I got shot at. I was 14. I wasn't old enough to work. You see what I'm saying? So this is how often and regularly and easily a newspaper can publish information that is not correct and not do the due diligence of fact checking, or even at times, again, I know about somebody who went and made some bullshit up to the police, and in retaliation to that bullshit not panning out, the police had the newspaper publish their name in an article as if they gave factual information. But we all know for a fact the nigga made it up. Nothing ever happened. Nobody ever went to jail. It was entirely fabricated. So they did it as retaliation. You see what I'm saying? So these things happen. These are tactics that are employed. These are not, again, binding legal documents. So they're not sufficient for concluding that somebody is in fact a snitch. That's negligent to utilize newspaper articles to do that.
In place of court documents. We watched the mob control the newspaper articles for decades. Like, they'll make it say what they wanted to say. Now, is the newspaper article a lie? Could be. Is it telling the truth? It could be. 1090 already has one angle, but I know him. He's like, it's a 50% angle that still won't prove whether Larry Hoover did or didn't. It'll just shed some light on the individual. I think he has filed for all those court documents, and he's waiting to get those, and then he's gonna come in, and he's gonna come at me or come at the situation.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If you get proven that there is paperwork that Larry Hoover told authorities who shot him, will you apologize to 1090 Jake? And also,
well, it's not about an apology. It's about me It's me
Will
making.
you look at Larry Hoover like he's a rat? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, yo, what I've seen on the internet, the GDs are saying, y'all better shut up about this man, because we'll go slide on him.
Yeah. There are probably 2 black men currently living in the United States that I don't believe it's safe to badmouth on any serious level with any major platform if you also are a black man. We see a white man like Vlad got away with it, but Larry Hoover and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Anybody with any major platform that's any high profile that can become an easy target has no business opening their mouth and speaking negatively against either of those individuals. And the reason is because of the type of belief that their followers have in them. They believe that deleting you for disrespecting those individuals would be a noble service that would be accompanied with a great reward in one way or another. They take those 2 individuals so seriously within the Nation of Islam and within growth and development that they'll kill you behind words. They will get rid of you, nigga, behind words. I'm just letting you know. And I wouldn't sleep on that, because the organization, the structure, and the MO of those 2 groups is damn near unprecedented as far as African American organizations that are currently operating. The channels, the communication channels, the command channels, they're realer than probably anything else going on in Black America. So orders can go down, and or zealots can rise, and they take their leadership so serious to where they will eliminate you over them, especially if you're a public figure with a large platform. It makes you an easy target, and it gives incentive for elimination because your word means something. It carries. This is very negligent on 1090 Jake's behalf, and it's semi-negligent on Wack's behalf, because Wack is still trying to keep it. But even Wack is you see, like some people like Jay Prince in Houston, but that's in Houston. Shout out to Jay Prince, the whole Prince family. Some of them is my people who I mess with, but he got Houston. That's his city. Let's just say that Houston is his city. But when you're dealing with a Farrakhan, or you're dealing with a Larry Hoover, you're dealing with somebody who has devotees, if you will, all over the country, in so many states, all over the place, strongholds, trained men, killers, especially when you deal with Farrakhan, we dealing with, the fruit of Islam, etc. So very ill-advised talking about either of those 2 individuals. Very ill-advised.
Ain't nobody's worried about that. Nobody cares about what people are saying we better do, because at the end of the day, if I slip and fall, they're going to talk about me. If some work come out on me, they're going to talk about me.
You're not Larry, though.
Don't give a fuck about.
You don't have tens of thousands of people screaming, free you. You didn't have Kanye West go to the president. Kim Kardashian go to the president to ask for you to be freed. You didn't have that. The concerts, the Larry Hoover data, all of that. You don't have that. you don't have devotees that take you as serious as they do Larry Hoover, who has tens of thousands of them. You ain't got it. So you cannot compare.
None of that, right? Me personally, again, I've been standing in the position of defending Larry Hoover since he came out.
And that's the right position to take, or the position of silence. That's what I would recommend.
You know what I'm saying? I've been defending him. I've been debunking it, right? If me and 1090 was on the same side of it, this shit would be going a whole different way. And I know 1090's approach. I know what his response is going to be. I know why I haven't heard him respond. He could respond now with something that I know he have, because I haven't. You know, it ain't that I'm in the blind of everything that's going on with it.
You sound like a politician. Is Larry Hoover a rat or not, man? Like, come on, bro.
As of right now, we can't say he is, because we don't have those actual court documents.
Wow,
right,
you talking like a lawyer. Hold on. Could you say either way definitively? Would you put your reputation on the line that he's not a rat?
I don't put my reputation on the line for no man or woman about telling if there's a court situation in until I read the court documents. I ain't like these dudes that say, based upon who he is or who people say he is. Because let's be real, 98% of the people we hear talking about Larry Hoover ain't even met Larry Hoover. Larry Hoover been in jail longer than they've been living, right?
I'm going to tell you why this is a nonsensical statement.
Be real, 98% of the people we hear talking about Larry Hoover ain't even met Larry Hoover. Okay. Larry Hoover been in jail longer than they've been living.
And that's exactly why you shouldn't talk about him. Because who else gets that level of praise and devotion from tens of thousands of people who they haven't met? Jesus? Muhammad? Like, when you're dealing with them individuals, they're not quite there, but they're like right up under there in the minds of the individuals who are devoted to them, to their cause, to their organization. We see what the Muslims would do, right? Okay. Use your brain. Oh, I don't even know Larry Hoover. Okay, so, and guess what? The Muslims don't know Muhammad. They never met him. But some of them are radical enough to strap fucking explosives to their bodies and blow themselves to smithereens, my nigga. You see what I'm saying? If this many people are devoted to this individual without having actually met him, encountered him, etc., based off of what they were told about him by other people in the literature in which that he penned, that they're indoctrinated with, go get that Star of David tattooed on them and pitchforks tattooed on them. Took the B off the GD as soon as they said so, and it's just GD. Then changed it from Gangster Disciple nigga to growth and development. They did all that at his order, at his command, and they never had to meet him one time. Meaning what? He's not the nigga to fuck with. That's all.
Right? They don't even know the man like that, right? But what I'm saying is, I do know it was a real situation. Dude confirmed that. The shooter confirmed that. I do know somebody got shot. So if the words come out and it says Larry Hoover told, will you call Larry Hoover a rat, just like how you call Big Meech a rat? Well, the work is going to call him that.
Okay. But if the work says that, will you adopt it and stick by the work?
I don't never go against the work act. It is what it is. The truth can never be considered disrespect. But right now, my whole disposition being, you're talking based upon a newspaper article, not a court document. Now, the minute a police report, a court document is there in front of us,
let me ask you a question.
If that's what happened, then that's what that is.
Wait. Yeah, but if you're saying, okay, the newspaper could lie, why can't the police lie?
You can't base upon a newspaper article.
Yeah, but why can't the police lie, though?
The police can lie. What doesn't lie is that fucking stenographer. That stenographer doesn't lie. Again, the police can falsify a statement or a police report. They can get you in an interrogation room and tell you outright lies. I remember my little brother had a little case, and boy, he came to me, told me, okay, boy, his crimey was yapping according to what the detective told him. So I'm fucking around in the mall one day. I see cuz crimey. You know, they've been away from each other because of the case. Boom, I tell my little brother, tuck off, boom, I'm finna get up on, cuz I get up on groove. What's up, nigga? Boom, he's like, bro, I'm telling you, they said the same fucking thing to me. All right, cool. This when I'm young, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not, you know, I seen it on the TV, but I didn't know they would really employ them games, you know, because I didn't even have long enough conversations with these motherfuckers to ever even be put in the interrogation room. Fuck all that, right? So, you know, he said that as it pans out, as the case plays out, neither of them talked. Both of them end up taking pleas on the case. But that was a tactic that was employed in the interrogation room to try to get niggas to flip on each other by telling them already that the other one already flipped. So they do that. So the police lie, newspapers can lie, so-called statements can lie, police reports can lie, but what doesn't lie is when you that's stenographer, when you take the stand, or if there is video or audio of you talking to the police, then we know that doesn't lie.
Well, a court document is if you're in court and you giving a statement, and yes, they can, but if you giving a statement and you're not,
more appropriately, testifying as opposed to statement, testifying, because again, they can doctor your statements. We've seen it happen, but that testimony, whole different thing.
Court, it wouldn't be at court at that point. Could you use a police report to say somebody's a snitch? Because it looks like that newspaper article was
you could, but it is iffy.
Quoting a police report,
yeah, but it's
and the police could lie.
No. They're not saying that's a published police report. This is just them reporting. Like, for instance, in the same newspaper article, they reported that the James Hightower guy, or Highsmith, was from a certain gang, which he's not from that gang. He was never from that gang. So, you know,
because they said he was from the Supreme Gangsters.
Oh, you know, that newspaper shit, you can't really, you know, you can't say it's not true, but you can't use it as a court document.
It's not absolute. It's not absolute. Just like a statement from the police that the police got, or a police report. All that shit is subject to tampering, doctoring, police lying, manipulating. All of it is subject. So you can look at it and it can be an indication. It doesn't just indicate that it's not true, but you're gonna need oftentimes a little more to come to an emphatic conclusion. That's the point.
Not where I come from. Now, I can't say what that court document is going to say. 1090 is going to have to go pull that court document, and then we can go from there. I will tell you this. I haven't attempted to obtain the court document personally, right? And why I haven't attempted to obtain the court document is because I really don't want the man to be a snitch. You get what I'm saying? So I'm leaving it as it goes. I'm defending it as I can. And right now I'm in a position where I can defend Larry Hoover against a newspaper article. So am I showing some sort of favoritism or biases? Yes, I am, because I'm not going to the extent to really go find that. Now, 1090 on the other hand, because I went and found the shooter and did an interview, and the shooter totally debunked what he was saying, I know 1090 ain't, he like you, he like me, he ain't gonna lay down. I do know it's, and the reason why I know he's working, because there is another document.
Wait, who's working? Who's working?
1090 is working for sure. He's out. He's trying to get the real fucking paperwork from 1968.
Now, mind you, the shooter in the case went on the Hunter Clubhouse with Wack and stated that Larry Hoover never told, and that was published in the newspaper article was untrue. Now that is being called into question. The authenticity of his statement is being called into question, saying that he could be getting intimidated and or paid off to say that, and he himself corroborated on a later case. So his credibility is called into serious question.
The reason why,
Chat, I'm putting 1090 Jake on the phone, chat. Let's get to the fuckery.
Ack is messy. Shout out to Ack. Make sure y'all tune in to Ack's coverage of the Diddy trial. He is a premier coverer of the Diddy trial.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I think Larry Hoover got a lot of fear in people's hearts, man. They ain't trying to fuck around with no Larry Hoover. I love the GDs. I never seen Wack talking to me like a lawyer right now. When it comes to Nipsey, he'd be like, "That's a fact."
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Nipsey ain't Larry, man.
Favor of Mr. Hoover, he's gonna put that with this other document that I have that shows there's a rat involved, and he gonna stick a fork in it, and niggas gonna have to run for the hills. This is a fact.
Oh shit! Oh, hold on. Give me 1 second. All right, we getting 1090 Jake on here. We gotta get to the fucking work.
Yo.
Yo, we got 1090's on the phone, Wack. We got 1090.
There you go.
We got 1090 on the phone.
I'm gonna repeat what I just said, right?
We just want to know, is he a rat? Because here's the thing, the GDs are upset. The GDs, they're in the door.
I'm gonna repeat what I said. 1090 reported on the newspaper article. He even went further to dig and find a secondary newspaper article to support the first one. I responded with the shooter and said, well, I'm not gonna use a newspaper article in place of a court document. Now, I know I have a document that 1090 could use to kind of debunk some shit, and I know if I got it, he has it. And the fact that he has it lets me know I think he's digging or waiting to get the 1968 document of Larry Hoover, what happened in court, and then I think he's going to come with all of it. If that document,
I ain't gonna lie though, you are backpedaling.
The newspaper article, then it's a problem.
Wack.
Now, me personally,
wait, Wack, I love you, but you backpedaling. I heard you. I heard you
the 1968 document.
Hold on, Wack. I love you, but you backpedaling a little bit. I heard you.
I'm not backpedaling.
I heard you on Clubhouse, and you basically reamed out 1090, basically saying that you didn't say he got fake paperwork, but you were saying he jumped the gun.
No, he don't got. He's basing it upon a newspaper article, right? But I know he has some real paperwork based upon something else, and the fact that he hasn't come with that lets me know that nigga don't want the short clip. He's waiting to see if he's gonna turn that into an extended clip.
So
if he goes and pulls court documents and support a newspaper clip, everybody's gonna have to take a seat.
Wait.
I know what he's like now.
But Wack, if you're admitting that he has some type of work, you're basically admitting that Larry Hoover's a rat. Is he a rat or not?
The work, the court document he actually has isn't necessarily on Larry Hoover, but he could use it if he want to right now to kind of discredit what I use to clear Larry Hoover.
Wait, let me ask you a question.
It's just to do it lets me know he's just working to get it all.
Let me ask you a question, because I'm gonna be honest with you. When it came to Big Meech, niggas violated Big Meech in 20 seconds.
No, I have.
Is there some type of
Big Meech is not Larry Hoover. I know Rose told us I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover, but Big Meech is not nowhere near Larry Hoover. Meech did his thing. Got a lot of money. Sold a lot of drugs. Got rich. Got a lot of other niggas rich. Larry Hoover did so much more by building the organization that he built. And he got a lot of money and sold a lot of drugs too. But more importantly, He built an organization of tens of thousands across the country that are loyal followers, devotees, as I said earlier. Meech ain't do that. Them niggas flipped on him, did this, did that. We see it all fell apart. It's bad right now for Meech. It's bad. Larry, if they let him out that prison today, because he's now been moved to state prison, they let him up out of there today, he'll live out the rest of his days very comfortable, predicated upon the contributions and sacrifices of the organization that he built. Much different.
Fear about the Gangster Disciples, the reputation, and Larry Hoover.
No, it's no fear.
Because I've never seen people jump on 1090 who you
and all of this stuff is like cute that they're doing. Oh, like y'all are talking like that, and y'all don't realize the potential implications that and ramifications that can come from this. Y'all just casually talking about a figure like Larry. Dangerous fucking waters you're treading.
usually when he's saying something, he'll roll shit out in phases. We've seen it with Boston Richey.
1090 knows.
By the way, 1090's on the phone. 1090, you hear, bro?
Fucking Boston Richey. They gonna learn.
1090 knows that if they find anything on him, they gonna light his ass up, as is me, right? Now I'm gonna be real with you, right? Could I go dig and look for the document? I can't. Have I? No. So this is kind of my way of showing a little respect to the old man. Now 1090 doing something he shouldn't be doing? No, not at all. He's being a journalist, and we ain't discriminated against anybody else when they can't anybody fucking else. So no man is being in the program. It's how he's coming, right? And he ain't wrong for that. I know what his play is, right? Because he hasn't responded in the way that I know he could have responded. I know he had something he could have responded, and the fact that he hasn't, he said, you know what? I'm not going to hit him with lunch. I'm going to hit these motherfuckers with the whole kitchen sink. But that's the determining factor of that is when the 1968 paperwork actually comes back to say what really did and didn't occur.
Hey, wait, 1090, are you on the line?
Yeah, what's up?
Yo, let me just ask you in plain words, because Wack just gave me the longest Johnny Cochran message.
No, I'm telling you what
is a guy a rat or not?
Right.
I look to y'all I look to the Hunted side and the exposers and 1090. Who got the work? Is he a rat or not?
No, at this point, he can't stand on it based on a court document because he doesn't have that. I know what this crazy motherfucker got. He could respond, and I'm telling you, the fact that he has not responded in the way that I know he could, based on something to kind of distort or discredit something, I think he's waiting on that to just take a fork in the whole situation. I hope it comes back in favor of Larry. But right now, I know what he's doing. I know if he knows me like I know him.
Hey, 1090, since we have you on here officially, because I'm going to be honest with you, and I've seen a lot of people send me this, and they says your reputation, I think you went through this before, where your reputation becomes in limbo because people are wondering if you're either jumping the gun or you're lying, right?
Nah, I wouldn't say his reputation. His reputation.
My reputation can't be in limbo because people have favoritism.
There we go.
Right?
Talk about it.
So the thing is, they're talking about
now. Slow down.
My reputation isn't on the line in this situation, right? So, Wack, where did this shit start from? Who was the one that originally posted this? Because people,
it was an app called Squid 8 from Chicago.
Right. So Act.
Yeah.
This hit came from Chicago itself.
True. It did originate with the Squid 8 page, I believe, on IG.
Yeah, weird. It didn't come.
Somebody from Chicago.
So you didn't conjure this up?
No, not at all.
Man, somebody from Chicago did this, and somebody from LA sent it to me and said, hey, is this shit real? So what I did was I looked into it. I found articles saying the same shit as whoever from Chicago posted it, right? That was a Chicago blog that posted that. So that came from the city of Chicago. The reason they not putting a face on it is because they know what comes with it. That's the
Yeah, they do.
same reason James Highsmith isn't going to speak against Larry Hoover. He still lives in fucking Chicago.
Really?
Now, when I ran the content, the interview I ran, it was a great piece to protect Mr. Hoover, but
He wanted to say fluff piece.
Was it factual though, Wack? I know you wouldn't run no fake content. The guy who said Larry Hoover never told on me.
Here's the thing. I am not this individual. These men are in their 70s. All I can do is go over that newspaper clipping and ask him, was it factual? What does he account what happened that day? Which is up on my page, right? So I let him answer. But what I'm telling you is one thing about it. Like when you got two motherfuckers at the chessboard, we kind of know what each other's up to based upon our movement. And based upon the moves he hasn't made, then that lets me know what 1090's up to.
So,
right?
Wack, I'm gonna ask you again. If 1090 come with the work, and it shows that Larry Hoover may have done such, will you stand on the Hunter's side and say, hey, despite me having a conversation with the man who claimed, Larry Hoover never told on him, the work says otherwise, and Larry Hoover is a rat. Will you say
1090 can answer that. I'm always gonna go off to work. He know that.
So,
hey, Wack, let me ask you, right? Because you just said you always gonna go off to work, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go off to work.
If you don't live in California State Prison, so if word comes out that somebody snitched, right, and you go and ask the person that did the shooting, is what he says gonna matter, or is the paperwork?
No. The paperwork is gonna call the last shot.
Because the shooter can get paid off to say anything, right?
Well, people can get paid off. People can get intimidated. People can be persuaded.
Valid.
Right.
Now let me ask you
Now watch
question.
this act. You gotta remember. And the world has to remember. But
Yeah.
you gotta know. Because if it was me and your thing, and we was reading the same way, we know we're gonna whatever you find, I can find, right? So I'm telling you, based upon me knowing 1090 and how he moves, and knowing what I got, I'm assuming, right? And actually, I'm not gonna assume. I know he has a certain document, and he just hasn't used it. So when I ask myself, well, why hasn't he fired the shot? I'm saying he's waiting to get back those 1968 documents. So I'm going to ask you, 1090, is there a certain document that's in your possession that you could have responded with, but you haven't yet?
Absolutely.
Ooh.
There you go, Ack. I'm telling you, like, nigga, we chess players. I know.
But since we chess players, right? Let me ask you a question, right?
What's up?
You PIRU. If you hear one of the big homies in PIRU got some shit on his name, are you gonna wait for me to go get it, or are you gonna go get it?
False equivalency. Here's what people don't understand. The LA-based gangs and the Chicago-based gangs do not function the same, nearly the same, are not structured nearly the same. All the California-based gangs are democratic and or ruled by very loose democracy. And then sometimes you have certain prominent figures who call shots, but only to those who want to be subject to, it's much looser. It's not tight structure, and it's not top down like the Chicago-based gangs, especially the GDs. GDs and the moles, man, the BPSs. Those are real top down Larry Hoover, Jeff Ford type of situation. You can't compare these things. Nobody's bigger than the program in the California system, and there is no one definitive leader of any particular set, gang, car, etc. Right? None. Even if somebody got the keys for the yard, for the dorm, for the module, whatever, they're subject to removal at any given time, dependent upon politics. These individuals who are leaders of the Chicago organizations, i.e. Larry Hoover, the Honorable Chairman, and Chief Malik, aka Jeff Fort, it don't go like that for them. Not even close. False equivalency. These things have to be understood. Big homie P-Funk, Damos, Keyways, Hovers, etc. That's not the same as a Larry or a Jeff Ford. Not even close.
Oh no, I'm definitely gonna go get it.
So why the GDs ain't going to the Chicago courthouse to prove that Larry Hoover ain't got no fucking paperwork?
And you want me to answer that question truthfully?
I want you to answer that question honestly.
For the same reason that I haven't. They
don't want it to. You feel me?
Yeah, man, they playing a dangerous game, man, and they need to quit while they're ahead, man, because the clout move and the views that are getting ready to come from running this content do not justify the potential ramifications by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm not justifying nobody. I'm just advising people on how to move in this situation. Whereas, people are truly ready to kill and die behind the name and reputation of Larry Hoover. We're not talking about jump in front of a bullet for him personally. I'm talking about kill somebody or die over or get a life sentence because somebody said something that they didn't like about that man, whether they've met him or not. That's how much they believe in him. And again, playing with niggas with that level of influence, never, ever smart.